then. Okay, so let's go ahead and get it started. Thank you so much for listening to Valley Sounds on WLRH. This is your girl, JQ. As you know, Valley Sounds is a show where we focus on music that is created and performed right here in the Tennessee Valley. Today, I am super ecstatic to have this awesome, super sensational female freaking deliciousnesses Joy Tiffany in the studio. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? This is Joy Tiffany with my girl JQ. You're listening to Valley Sounds on WLRH 89.3 Huntsville.
Woo! Welcome, welcome, welcome,
I
welcome.
try to have my voice sound like fresh butter melting on a bagel. That's always the goal.
Not fresh butter on the bagel, but the bagel. What? Okay, then that's what I want to be like when I grow up. Let me fresh butter melting. This is your girl, JQ. You're listening to Valley Sounds on 89.3 Huntsville. Okay, yeah, I got a little work. I got a little work I got to do. So let's jump right in. A lot of people, Joy, don't know who you are. So let's start from like the very beginning. Okay. Tell me how you got started in music.
Actually, at Alabama A&M. I was a junior, and I joined a music organization. I was in the university choir. Then I joined Sigma Alpha Iota, which is a music organization. The night of our musicale, I joined a band. Like, it was like boom, boom, boom. The band was a college band named Remedy, and we sang all over campus. We traveled for 4 years. We disbanded. And then right after that, I linked with Spanky Alford, a legendary guitarist. And that was the first time I was out on my own with Spanky and Miss Shirley. And that's how I met all of the Huntsville legendary musicians. So I really was in a great position when I was younger, and I didn't know it, of how many great people he surrounded me by and made sure he introduced me to. And from there, I started my own open mic. So I did about 4 venues in town. Every venue that closed, I just kept going to the next one, but I never stopped my show. So I just really was an artist who also wanted to create a platform for other artists to perform. It was just, I don't know. I'm a rambler, so at some point you have to horn me back in.
Girl, please. That's what this whole thing is about, is a conversation, and we want to know all about you as much as we can get in this segment as well. How did you get started singing? How long have you been singing? And like, what's your love of music? How are you drawn to all of that?
So honestly, I didn't know I could sing since I was 12. I went to Halley Open Middle School in Detroit, and we all had to stand up and sing "Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away." Well, when I was done, I got a standing ovation, and I was like, oh my gosh. So then they put me in this quartet, but I was really shy. It was a scandal. But at some point, it worked out. My love for music came from my mother. My mother is a music head. She loves jazz. And we listen to so much music, so many genres. And I have so much in my head, and it's just such a love. I just love music.
What aspects of music do you participate in? I know you write, you sing. So, like, what all the aspects of music do you really participate in?
I'm singing, writing, producing. But producing, I'm not a music producer. I produce live shows. Creating, supporting, learning. Like, I'm always a student of music. Nobody knows everything about it. I'm always trying to learn.
Do you play any instruments?
I used to master the whistle sucker, but that got jingle bells is starting to get a little difficult, so that's a no.
What's your favorite part of music? Like, I know that your career is music, all aspects of music, but what's your favorite? If we could drop whatever we needed to do and you could live a life of music, what area of music would you live life in?
Jazz.
Mm.
I would be a jazz artist
Really?
for sure.
Girl, you have that sultry voice that just reminds me of like um, acoustic R&B. But then when
Mm.
I hear some of your sound, I
Mhm.
hear the passion
Mhm.
for jazz in the
Yeah.
music that you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
What is your normal music process like when you're in your creative mode? What's that process like for you?
Mm. Right now, it's a broken process. I'm kind of in a writer's block. So I try to, I'm in the process of making sure that my energy is great across the board. Across the board. Family, friends, strangers, you're giving me good energy or I'm macing you. So once I have solidified great energy, I might have a candle. I might just relax. I do things to where I'm just in a good place or the smallest things. Oh, let me put my hands down. My nails are broke. The smallest things. But yeah, and I'm kind of sporadic too. I might just drive in the car. I like to drive a lot. I do a lot of creating driving.
When you were on tour, what's your favorite part about that? Because you have an amazing energy when you are live. Like,
Mm,
girl, like, I mean, your energy when you are live is so amazing. And you do tour. Like,
mm.
so what about touring is probably the most either challenging thing for you or the thing that you love most about being live on stage and touring?
The thing I love most was meeting new people. Every show, as as an artist, your focus should be meeting new, gaining new fans every day. So every day, meeting somebody new, I could sing in front of them and meeting them and shaking their hand was like the high. It wasn't like being on the road or stunting, or it was just like meeting new people. Like, okay, this is one more person that they might think I'm dope about my album. Like on that music side, because my finish line is the stage. All the recording and the writing and the process is to get on a stage to perform, to gain the fan and to start the whole process over again. So getting a new fan every day is just the goal. So that's the high. It's like a high.
How much music do you have out there?
I could be doing better. I have songs. I probably have three. My single is Numb. And that's like we're gonna reshoot a video for it and put it out. I put my album out in 2015. And to me, a lot of times, independent artists, they'll make 30 albums, but they don't work one. I'm about to work the piss out this album.
Girl, well, you know
So,
what? That's life, right? Because once we
hello.
put our stuff out there, it's up to us. That
Okay.
brings me to one of one of the biggest things is what is the biggest challenge about being an independent artist? Because you are like the true definition of an independent artist from the beginning to the end.
Goodness. Let 'em- um, funding. It's always the most difficult thing is funding. Um, as an artist, you have to pay for everything, which is a good thing because the person that's paying is in charge. So you want to fund what you're doing. You want to have the money to make sure that you can move properly. But sometimes you have to stop and recharge. And it kind of feels like you're slowing down. So I would say the funding is the most difficult part. Everything else is in a play as far as connections and knowing people. Like that's all there. I kind of feel like sometimes everybody's waiting on me. So it's just the funding.
How do you overcome that?
Well, honestly, I was working. I just got fired, but I was working a job for like 10 hours straight, like saving. I just went to work 10 hours. Boom, I go home, and just to save so I can have something. So even at some point, if I do remove my pride and request some type of funding, I have money myself as well. I'm not coming to you on zero. That type of thing.
You're in the process of relocating and you'll be back in Huntsville full time.
Yes.
What happened with that? Why did you leave and then now you're coming back? And, how does that affect your music and have you evolved since that?
Um, I had an open mic show from 2005 to 2015. I was running three shows at one time. I was doing an open mic, which was just regular open mic. Then I was doing Soul Lounge, which was open mic plus live soul. So we would bring artists like DJ Morton, Layla Hathaway, and Mike Hicks, like really dope indie artists. We were also, I'm a digressor because I also go somewhere else. I forgot the question.
It's all good.
What did you ask me?
The challenges of why you moved and then you came
back.
Yeah,
So I had the show, right. That happened when I digress. All right. So that was for 10 years. After a while, especially in Huntsville, if you're doing something for so long, it can kind of sizzle out if, for whatever reason, I had a lot of venue issues. And then my album dropped. So at that time, I was doing open mic for so long that I needed to stop. And for me being an artist, I needed to go and get on the road and tour. And I literally, which I would not suggest to any other artist, I literally had $500. I got in my car and I drove from city to city. I went to Georgia. I was in D.C. I was in New York. I would find open mics. I would go sing and I would sell CDs. I was literally surviving off of just selling CDs, which was a beauty that I was able to move on my own accord by music, but it was a struggle as well.
Wow. Like $500 in your car and you just went out there and did it. That takes a lot of bravery and courage.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it now. And when I look back and when I look at it, in that moment, I was just on super gold mode. Like, yo, I'm dope. I know I'm dope. And I need to, a lot of people wait. It's like the book Who Moved My Cheese. Everybody waiting on the cheese to drop once the cheese move, but you got to be like him and her. I'm going to do my own cheese. So I would go, I needed everybody to see I'm the cheese. You know what I'm saying? So my goal was move as much as possible. It was difficult. I slept in my car a few nights. I saved cups from restaurants. I would go refill them for the day. I ate a lot of 2-for-2s, but at the end of the day, it was worth it. I made a lot of great connections, and I met a lot of great people and a lot of genuine artists on the journey. So it was all worth it.
You're dropping some new tunes here soon.
Mm-hmm.
And so all that you've been through in the last 5 years, you know, with your music and everything that you're doing, are we going to hear some of that in the music? Is it going to reflect anything that you've been through, or is it going to tell the story of what we've been missing from Joy in the last 5 years?
I don't know if I could. I don't know if I'm ready to write a song about to be 100 of how I was on the road and that type of struggle. I think that's going to take an emotion out of me that right now my brain is on forward. So I'm really focusing on creating this. It's a trap jazz album and as well as a feel-good R&B. My sound is like alternative R&B, so it'll be like a feel-good alternative R&B sound.
Ooh, trap jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah!
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to hear that.
And people hear the word trap, so you think this is, but it's really jazz over hip hop beats. That's really what it is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Trap jazz. I'm looking forward to hearing that. When you write your songs, how do you find the words? Is there an inspiration? Or do you just sit down? Do you play music? What's your inspiration for really just writing your songs?
Honestly, I hear the beat and I think about lately I just been kind of going off how I felt that day. Like my album is in order of emotion. So that emotion I felt that day or where that went with what was going on in my life at that time made a great album. So I kind of don't overthink that. It's like, well, what do I want? Because I don't want to be a broken-hearted pen always singing about who did you wrong. And you don't get all that energy from me, you feel me? So I try to write about stuff like all around it,
You just recently did an opening for Raheem Devon, right? And how was that, girl?
Amazing. Raheem Devon is awesome. It's one of those things where you're so nervous, and then when you get there, just be like, oh. And it was in Huntsville, so of course you see all your friends, and that was great for me. So I'm nervous every time I sing, but in that moment, I wasn't like uber nervous. It was a good nervous.
I would never imagine that you are nervous before you sing, girl, because when you are on that stage and you had that mic in your hand, You are, when the energy of your live performance and your sound, the one thing I can say is you have a unique sound. Like when you're singing, I don't care what you're singing, I know it's you.
Thank you.
And then when I see you live, I first met you at an open mic. That was the first time I had seen you. And the energy of you alone made me want to know more, want to hear more, wanted to come more to the events that you were producing. And so then when I heard your album, that sound resonated in your music on your tracks. And so it's like, you know, the wonder of how you come up with that and how you stay unique. How do you do that?
I specifically when I get beats, I don't want anything that sounds like the radio. It's necessary that when I create, I'm not creating for a fad or I'm not creating to be popular. I'm creating because I love music and I have a really dope sound in my head and I want y'all to hear it. So my goal is not to sound like specifically, producers will send somebody type beats or this person type beats. Well, you send it to that person. I need your beats on the B side, the tracks that don't sound like they can be something and we can turn them into something. Because then right now, my album right now played today sounds like it came out today. That's going into the sound that's coming on that out in 15. So
Nice. Do you do covers? And when you do, or if you do you try to mimic or do you try to uniquely recreate?
Definitely uniquely recreate. If singing just like the artist, you might as well go listen to the artist, you know. When you sing a cover, it should be your own interpretation. So I definitely try to sprinkle on my own spice. Just bring my own little seasons in my pocket, just to, you know, just a bit of a blue.
Sprinkle your own little Joy Titty up on that thing.
Goodbye.
What's your favorite artist cover to do?
Right now, it's the stylistics. People make the world go round. I vary. I don't really have a one favorite. It's just how I feel. So right now, I've been really, anytime I go, I always sing People Make the World Go Round. That's like my go-to.
Okay, People Make the World Go Round. I'm ready. Go and put some down for me.
Oh.
Let's create. Y'all, this is the absolute most genuine, unique, down-to-earth process of Joy Tiffany.
Trash man didn't get my trash today. Oh, why? Because they want more pay. Da-da-da-da. Buses on strike, wanna raise your fare. Sure they can help pollute the air.
Girls,
Makes the world go round. The up and out of Michelle. Changing people change around. Go under by your man. People make the world. Da, 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 da.
Oh, that was hard.
Thank you. I am sick. I'm just a little.
Well, if that was sick, then ooh-wee, watch our world, because when she's not sick, baby. Joy, it's been such a pleasure having you in the studio with me. I'm a fan. I'm a lover. I follow you. I had to seek you out, of course, as you know. And I'm feeling lucky and privileged to just have you in my space.
I appreciate the interview.
I really
More
do.
than you know.
So if there's any advice that you'd like to leave, if there's any advice that you would like to leave listeners or people in the music industry that want to follow in your footsteps, what would be a good piece of advice that you would leave for them?
You gotta have some money. So I would tell you to stop. You gotta have a job through your independent artistry. No matter how dope you are, at some point, people will get tired of you when you're broke. And you gotta have your own money where you can move properly and get the things that you need for yourself and set things up for yourself. Help is nice, but as an artist, it's necessary that you fund as much as you can for yourself.
Funding, people. Funding. And that's just for just about anything you're going to do in any industry, and you're going to be independent and do it on your own. You need that funding. Once again, Joy, Tiffany, thank you so much for coming in the studio. Thank you for this wonderful interview. Much success and blessings on your future endeavors. You have my support 1,000,000,000%, and anything I can do to help propel you.
Help me lose the rest of this weight.
Girl, I'm going to do that for sure.
You are the fitness guru. Yes, look at you healthy eating pretzels. You don't even want to see my snacks.
This is your girl, JQ, and you are listening to Valley Sounds on 89.3 Huntsville. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Later. Let's take it out with Joy.